This to have fellow student and our respected lecturer, Professor Dr. On Tian Song. We are from the lab section of 1E and group 6 of the project group. Our group members include me, Tan Jun Han, Lim Shouzi, and also Lin Hong Yi. In this computer programming project, we have chosen library management system as our main topic. Initially, let me introduce our library management system. Basically, the library management system is designed to simplify library operations, enabling both lecturers and students to manage books efficiently. Specifically, this system provides an intuitive interface for handling book-related tasks, ensuring a smooth and organized library experience. Eventually, our system will implement two rows of tasks that can be done, which is lecturer and also student. For lecturer, the task that can be done is register new books that can be rendered, display a list of all books available in the library, delete books that can longer needed, update book information such as title, author, or availability. We will accept book donation from students and close the system. Apart from that, students can browse books that can be rented for rent, check the list of books currently rented, borrow a book from the library, return a borrowed book to update its availability, contribute books to the library for others to use, and also leave the system.
So now I'm going to explain the purpose statement of our project and the function from line 250 to 449. First, let's look at the problem statement. The current library management system is inefficient, making it difficult for lecturers and students to manage books effectively. Without a streamlined system, tracking book availability, borrowing, and donation become disorganized and inconvenient. There are four key issues of the current library management system. The first is the book management. Lecturers need an efficient way to register, update, and remove books. Besides, book availability and borrowing. Students struggle to browse and track borrowed book due to the lack of real-time updates. Moreover, book donations. Students lack a structured way to donate books, and lecturers need a system to review and approve them. Last but not least is the system usability. A centralized and user-friendly platform is needed to improve efficiency and reduce delays. A digital system should automate book management, provide real-time availability, updates, and introduce a structured donation process. Clear options for both lecturers and students will enhance accessibility and organization, ensuring a seamless.
Hi, my name is Lim Shouzi. So now I'm going to talk about objectives. So for objectives, we have effective book management, which allows lecturers to register, update, delete, and maintain books in an orderly and organized fashion. And next is simplified borrowing and returning process, which allow students to search, borrow, and return books with updated information on their status to avoid confusion and delays. And the third one is organized book donation system. This system which allows students to donate books with step-by-step approval process for lecturers to include donate books in the collection. Okay, next is user-friendly interface, which offer a user-friendly and interactive interface that allows easier navigation and access for lecturers and students. And for the fifth one is real-time updates. This includes real-time books availability and borrowing status updates for enhanced efficiency and transparency. And for the last one is access control and security, which use login authentication to avoid unauthorized access, allowing for secure and controlled.
So now I'm going to explain about the source code of making this system. At the beginning, we create three classes: book, user, and donation, which together represent a simple library or book donation system. The book class stores information about book, including its title, author, status, lender, and whether it has been donated. By default, a book is not marked as donated when created. The user class as well represents a user in the system, storing their username, password, and role. Additionally, it contains a list of donation objects representing books the user has donated. The constructor for this class is default, meaning it does not perform any special initialization. Lastly, the donation class represents a donated book with a title and author. It includes a default constructor and an overloaded equality operator, allowing two donation objects to be compared based on whether they have the same title and author. Next, we declare three string constants: library file name, users file names, and donations file name. Specify the file names that use to store and retrieve information about books, users, and donations to ensure a consistency in file operations. The next, several of functions are declared for handling file operations, including reading from and saving data to files. Functions like read library from file and read user from file load data from files into vectors, while save library to file, save users to file, and save donation file write updated data back to files. And some other functions are shown in the screen. Lastly, the Boolean operator function is overloaded for the donation class, allowing two donation objects to be compared based on their title and author. This makes it easy to check whether a specific book donation already exists in the system. Furthermore, I will explain the main function as well. First, we initialize three variables, which is library, a vector to store books, users, a vector to store registered users, and current user, which hold details of the user currently using the system. The program continuously asks for valid input until the user enters either Y for yes or N for no. If the user prompt Y, the register user function is called to create a new user, and their details are saved to a file using save users to file. After registration, the program loads book data by calling read library from file. Lastly, the login function then authenticates the users, and once logged in, the system loads book data from library.txt using read library from file. Next, we insert the function definition. The first function is read library from file. It takes a vector of book objects and a file name as input, and it attempts to open a specific file using an if-string object. These values are stored in a book object, which is then added to the library vector. And next is the function read users from file. It first clears the user vector to remove any existing user data before reading new entries. And each line in the file is expected to contain a user username, password, and role separated by commas. If the file cannot be opened, an error message unable to open the file is displayed and the program exits with an error. Furthermore, the function save library to file takes a vector of book objects and a file name as input. It opens the specified file using an off-stream object in truncate mode. If the file opens successfully, the function iterates through the library vector and writes each book title, author, status, and ender to the file, separating these values with commas. And next, the function save users to file is designed to save user data. It opens the specified file in append mode. If the file is successfully opened, the function iterates through the user vector and writes each user's username, password, and role to the file, separated by commas, with each entry on a new line. And lastly, the function addBooks prompts the user to enter the book's title and author using getLine. The function sets the book status to available and leaves the lender field empty. To ensure that the book data is permanently stored, the function calls save library to file, library file name.
Next, I'm going to review the add function from line 250 to 449. Now let's look at the first function, which is the remove book. The purpose of this function is to allow a lecturer to remove a book from the library collection. How this function works? First, it prompts the lecturer to enter book title. Next, searches the book in the library using findIf. If found, remove the book from the vector and save the updated library. If not found, it will display an error message. The key feature of this function is to use lambda expression for efficient searching and save updated data to a file to maintain consistency. The next function in our system is return book. The purpose of this function is to allow a student to return rented book. How does this function work? First, it prompts the student to enter the book title. Next, it searches the book to ensure it is rented or it is rented by the student returning it. If valid, updates the book status to available and clears the lender name. Next, it will save the updated library. Last, if the conditions are not met, display an error message. The key feature is to ensure that students can only return books that are rented. Moreover, display books for rent also include in our system function. The purpose is to display books available for students to rent. How does it work? First, it checks if the library is empty. Next, if the books exist, it will display a formatted table showing available books. The key feature is it uses setW bracket for table formatting to improve readability. The next function in our system is display user rented books. The purpose of this function is to show books currently rented by a specific user. How does it work? First, it checks the library is empty. Next, it iterates through the library to find books rented by the current user. And last, display them in a formatted table. The key feature is use compare ignore case to match username's case insensitively. Next function in the system is compare ignore case. The function aims to compare to string while ignoring case and handling spaces. It works by first, if string sizes are different, return false. Next, it iterates through each character. It converts to a lowercase before comparison and ignores spaces while checking equality. Last, it returns true if both strings match. The key feature is ensure a username and book titles are compared correctly, even with different letter cases. Furthermore, in our system, we also have the display all book function. Needless to say, it is to display all books in a library in a formatted table and customize the view based on user role. Lecturers see all books and students only see rented books. How does it work? First, It checks if the library is empty. Next, it will display book detail, which is title, author, and status. Last, if the user is a lecturer, also shows who rented the book. The key feature of this function is to implement role-based access to control data visibility. Move forward is the register user function. The register user function is to allow a new user to register with a username, password, and role. It works by prompt for username and password. Next, it ensures the user selects a valid role. S is for student and L is for lecturer. Next, they have to add the user to the system. Last but not least, it sets the newly registered user as the current session user. The key feature is use $word for case-insensitive role selection. After that, we also have a login function. The purpose is to authenticate user before granting access to the system. How does it work? First, it will prompt the user for the credentials. Next, remove the leading, trailing spaces. After that, searches for matching username and password. If found, log the user in. If credentials are incorrect, limits attempt to 4. If all attempts fail, the program will exit. The key feature is implements a login attempt to prevent brute force attack. Besides, it uses the erase remove if to sanitize user input removing spaces. Alright, that's all from me. So now I'll pass to Shouzhi.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about rent book functions. Purpose of this function is to allow students to rent books from the library. And how the function works is the user inputs the title of the books they want to rent, then the system will search for the books in the library collections. If a book is found and is available, and it will updates the status to rented, assigns the student as the lender. So the updated library data is will save to a file, and if the book is not available, an error message will display like show up is not available. Okay. Next one is lend book functions. So the purpose of this function is to allow lecturers to lend books to students. So the lecturers will input the title of the books they want to lend, and the system will check whether the book is available. So if the book is available, the status will show up lend, and the lecturer is assigned as a lender. If the book is not available, an error message will display. Next one is change book details functions. So the purpose of this function is to allow lecturers to modify book details like title or author. So the lecturer will input the book title they wish to edit, and the system will search for the books. If the book is found, it will allow the lecturer to either change the title or the author. The updated book details are saved to the file. If the book is not found, an error message will be displayed. Okay, the next function is donate book functions. So this function is to allow students to donate the books to the library. So the students can enter the details of the book they want to donate, like can enter the title of the book or the author of the book, and the system will verify the student's account and adds the donation to their record. So the donation list will save to a file. If the student is not found in the system, an error message will be displayed. Okay. The next function is save donation to file functions. So the purpose for this function is to save donation records to a file. So how it works? The users can open the specific file and write donation details like the title or the author. And if the file cannot be opened, an error message will be displayed and the program will exit immediately. Okay, and for the next one is process donation functions. This functions is to allow lecturers to review and approve the book donations. The system will iterate through the list of book donations. For each donation, the lecturer is prompted to approve or reject the book. The approved book are added to the library collections. After processing, user donations are cleared immediately. Next function is view donations functions. This function allows lecturers to view and approve the book donations. So the lecturers can read the donation details from a file, and it will display each donated book and ask whether it should be approved. And approved books are added to the library, and the approval donation remains in the file. The updated library and donation lists are saved to the file. And the last function is perform user actions. So you can see this is the coding for this function. And now I'm going to explain the purpose for this function. The purpose for this function is handles the main menu functionality based on the user's role. Example, the students or lecturers. So it will display different options depending on whether the user is a student or a lecturer. Based on the user selection, the corresponding function is called. The loop continues until the user chooses to exit.
Now I will do the demonstration part of our program. So first, it display a greeting message, which is welcome to the library management system. And first, it asks you do you want to register or not. Y for yes and for no. For example, we choose Y. ask you to enter your username. So it's done. Then he'll ask you to choose your role, S for student or L for lecturer. For example, we choose student S. And after we choose, we sign up, and we display a main menu for students only. It has 6 options. For example, we choose one first. You can view books available for rent, and we show all the books available for rent. For the second one, view random books. Since we do not rent any books, so display nothing. For the third one, we rent a book. For example, we choose the Hornet. Sorry, Shadow Hornet. Accept that book, Shadow Max rented successfully. For the fourth one, we return a book. We return Shadow Max as well. Accept that book, Shadow Max returned successfully. For the fifth one, we donate a book only for students. For example, we choose the Hornets to donate. The author we choose Michael Chilton, for example. It says that book returned successfully. Thank you for your contribution. For the sixth one is exit our system and display the exit message. For next one, we choose lecturer of our system. So we log in an existing account. Choose N for no. We log in successfully. We also got 6 options as well for the main menu or for lecturers. First one is add a book that can be rented. Or for example, we choose the next author of the books. Jordan. Book added to the library. For the second one, view all books in the library and show the title of the books, author of these books, and the status which is available or not available. For the third one, we remove a book. For example, remove the Hornets. Set the book the Hornet removed successfully. And for the fourth one, you can change the book details. We ask you to choose the title of you want to change details for. So choose Hornets and change the you got 2 options you want to change. First one, you change title. Second one, you change author. For example, we choose the second one. The author will choose James. And say that book details updated successfully. So for the fifth one, we can view and accept donations for lecturers. Since we as a student just now, we donate the book, the Hornet. So as lecturer, we want to approve the donation and choose Y to accept it. It says that donation approved. For the sixth one is exit the system. So we choose it, we display the exit message. Yeah, that's all for now. I will say what have I learned from the subject. I've learned how to declare and manipulate single-dimensional and multi-dimensional arrays, and I've mastered how to create and use functions for better modularity and code reuse, and learned the importance of classes and objects in structuring code efficiently, and understood the principles of encapsulation. Lastly, I learned how to read and write data to file using each stream, offstream, and fstream. And I have spent 2 days to develop my part of my project. And the obstacles I faced during my project development is I had to understand implementing object-oriented programming, which is OOP concepts, and file handling issues, and also implementing the edit.
Okay, what I have learned for this subject is I can manage to do a system which I like, or to design a system that I can help everyone, and a user-friendly system. And how much time did I spend to develop my code is about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And what are the obstacles you face during your project development is sometimes I can't get to run my coding, or maybe there's the error in the coding part. So I ask for help from my friends or online. Yeah, that's all for me.
In this project, the contribution that I've done is I've done the problem statement part and the project scope part of the report. Besides, I have amended minor bugs of the codes. Besides, I've recorded the presentation with a clear voice. In this subject, I've learned the fundamental of computer programming, including writing, debugging, and optimizing code to develop functional applications. This project enhanced my problem-solving skills and understanding of logical structures. I have spent 1 week developing my part of the project to ensure it is perfectly designed and developed. One of the main obstacles I faced was debugging errors that affect system functionality, which require careful troubleshooting. Additionally, integrating real-time updates for book availability was challenging due to data synchronization issues.